Hello class, this tutorial video is about the test review. So let's start it with the first question. You can see the answer is here. So let me explain the step. Sorry. So in these questions, they give you a recursive rule. That means the rule of the formula show you how to get the next term by using the previous term, right? The next term equal to the previous term. Why we know it's a previous term? Because you have an n minus 1. Because n minus 1 is before the term before n. Okay. Multiply by 2 to the power of n minus 1. Of course, we know this is and very important information. Okay, they give us the C1. We need to find out the value for C3. As you can tell from here, in order to find out C3, we need C2. Okay, so C2 equal to C1. Because if your n equal to 2, your previous term gonna be 1. That's why you have C1. Times 2 to the power, since n equal to 2 right now, you have a 2 minus 1. Okay? And C1 is given, which is 5. 5 times 2, that's how you get 10. Okay, now with C2, the second term, we are able to find out the third term, which is C3. Of course, if n equal to 3, the previous term will be 2. So we know in order to get C3, you need to multiply C2 with 2 to the n minus 1. But this time, your n is 3. So 3 minus 1. You take 10 from the previous step, 10 times 2 to the second, and that's how you get the answer 40. Okay, so the major point here is you should know the notation. If Cn is a term, that means Cn minus 1 is a previous term, and Cn plus 1 gonna be the next term, right? For example, you have a 2 as a Cn, that means C2 as a Cn, that means my previous term will be C1 and my next term will be C3 and so on. Okay, all right, next one. Okay, so question 2. The first 3 terms of either arithmetic or geometry sequence is given by 6a, it's a known, and 24. It could be arithmetic, it could be geometry sequence. So we need to decide among those 3 numbers, which one cannot be the value of a. Okay, so if you look at my work, yes, that it seems a lot. If it's arithmetic sequence, that means you are adding the same difference because they have the same difference. So in this case, from 6 to 24, if you adding the same value, that value need to a should be 9. All right, and that means your middle term could be 15. We can cross out this one because the question is looking for the impossible value. So a could be 15. All right, so using the same reasoning, if it's a geometry sequence, that means you need to multiply 6 by next number, one number, the r, to get a. And then you can multiply a with the same ratio to get 24. So we figure out we can multiply 6 by 2 to get a, and that give you 12. 12 times 2 also give you 24. So that means a could be 12. That's why we cross out this one. The tricky one is this one. Remember, you can also multiply negative 2 to get the next one in this case, because 6 times negative 2 give you negative 12. Negative 12 times negative 2 will give you positive 24. So a equal to negative 12 also works. So we cross out choice 3. So this actually is a longer way. Since it's a multiple choice and you know we always have another option, certain strategy may work better. So in this case, we can actually go to each choices, right? So let's pick 2, choice 2, 14. Okay, if I have a 6 and I replace A with a 14, I replace 24 with, not replace, sorry, we just copy 24. Okay, so here we replace A with 14 and see if it works. So if it works, that means either gonna be arithmetic sequence or geometry. Let's find out. If we want to see if the arithmetic sequence, we just need to find out do they have the same difference, right? So if you look at it, 6 to 14, you need to add to 8. 14 from to 24, you need to add 10. So definitely is not arithmetical sequence. Well, now let's see if it's a geometry sequence. How do I know if it's geometry or not? You can take, let me use a different color. So you can find out the ratio. Do they have the same ratio? In order to make it as geometry sequence, they should have the same ratio. I'm going to take my second term, 14 divided by 6, and I'm going to take my third term divided by my second term. If it's a geometry sequence, that means they need to be the same, right? However, if you enter like 14 divided by 6, since it's a fraction, into your calculator, 14 divided by 6, that give you about 2.3, right? The other side, you have 24 divided by 14, that give you a very different ratio. So obviously this is not the same ratio, which means it's not geometry either, right? So 14 definitely is not supposed to be in the value. Okay, all right, so once again, you have more than one choice. You have more than one approach, especially when it's a multiple choice. Oh, you can always go to one of the choice, try it. All right, so let's move on to the next one. Number 3. Okay, so you have f of m. Guys, if you do not recognize what that means, well, just think about am, okay? Because we've been using an all the time. But f of n also mean an, the nth term. That means this will be an minus 1, okay? So f of n minus 1 is same as an minus 1. Okay, now look at those two. They are in the order of a of n minus 1 come first and an. Okay, so if it's telling you, hey, if you subtract an minus 1 from an, right, that is a difference. The difference is 15, right? So this piece of information basically telling us, hey guys, this is our arithmetic sequence. You need to add the same difference to get the next one. Okay, it's telling you the difference of 2 terms, right? 2 consecutive terms is 15. So it's basically telling you, hey, this is arithmetic sequence. Okay, all right, so this 15 is the difference of each 2 terms. So let's list it here. So d equals to 15. Okay, f of 1, that also mean a1 equal to 4. Okay, we need to find f of 25. Well, once again, guys, if you do not like it, you can write it as A25. Basically, it's asking you to find out the value on the 25th term. We're going to start with the formula, AM, because we're looking for specific term. List everything we have. That is telling us there's a 25 term in f of 25. This is 25th term. So n equal to 25, a1 equal to 4, which is given. Difference equal to 15. Once again, it's also given in the question. So what you need to do is you just substitute, right? A1 with the 4, n with the 25. This is a formula. This is a formula. And the difference is 15, and we do the computation, it will give you 364. Okay, so that's the answer for this one. Once again, this question require you to understand, to analyze. You understand the notation, you know what that means. When you have one thing subtract by another thing, that means you're finding that's the difference between those two numbers. Okay, question 4. Question 4. A function is defined using the formula f of x equal to sigma. If you see this sign, you know this is summation, sum, finding the sum. Write it down for yourself. It's finding the sum. Okay, starting, the j starting value is 2 and up to 5, and the function or the formula is right after, which is j over x. Which of following is the value of f of phi? All right, boys and girls, first of all, please keep telling yourself this is telling you x equal to phi. That's an input, okay, because it's inside the parentheses. So my first job is I go to this whole thing. I'm going to substitute x with the phi. I substitute x with the phi. Where do you see the x? On this notation right here, it's in the green one, so I replace it with a phi. Okay, so this is my first step. Now I need to ask myself, what does that mean? It's basically asking you to finding, okay, starting with the A2, right? Starting, this is start values, and you end with the A5. Basically, that is what that means. So you have A2 plus A3 plus A4 plus A5. How do I find out A2? Okay, this is the formula here. This is the formula. Right, the highlighted one. It's telling you, hey, j equal to 2. Let's make a list. J equal to 2. All right, and you replace j with a 2. J equal to 3. You replace j with a 3. So you're going to have A3 going to be 3 over 5. J equal to 4. That means you replace this. Look at this formula again. J with a 4. When j equal to 5, and you replace j with a 5. Okay? This is telling you, this highlighted one is telling you what your each term should look like. Always replace j with that changing number. Okay. All right, so after you find out each term, you have A2, A3, A4, and A5. You're going to add them. How do I know? Because this is the notation for finding the sum. Okay, you're adding them. We keep the denominator, we add the numerator, and you simplify, and this is your final answer. Okay, now let's look at question 5. Okay, read the question. A pattern of isosahedrons, I don't even know the word, is showing below, and it's showing level 1, level 2, and level 3. We need to find out amount of this object on level 15. First of all, just count it. Level 1, you have a 2. Level 3, you have a 6. Level 2, you have a 6. Level 3, you have 18. You may notice this is geometry sequence. Why? Because you multiply the same number to get the next one. So R equal to 3. So list it. List A1 equal to 2. N, how do I know it's 15? Because it's 15 level. So N equals to 15. Well, we know the formula. A15 equal to A1 times R minus N, to the N minus 1 and substitute. That's it.